This is the Voice of Turkey's English language transmission broadcasting from Ankara in the 49-meter band between 1830 and 1930 UTC on 5945 kHz to Europe, between 2030 and 2130 UTC in the 31-meter band on 9875 kHz to South Asia and Australia, between 2200 and 2300 UTC in the 31-meter band and on 9830 kHz to Europe, Eastern USA and Canada, and in the 25-meter band on 11660 kHz between 1630 and 1730 UTC to Afghanistan, Pakistan, India, Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan. The Voice of Turkey is also beamed between 0300 and 0400 UTC in the 41-meter band and on 7275 kHz to Europe, the USA, Eastern Canada and Cuba, between 0300 and 0400 UTC in the 49-meter band on 6165 kHz to Iraq, Syria, Iran and the Arabian Peninsula. You can listen to us over the Turksat 3A and 4A satellites and on the internet at www.trt.net.tr through the Voice of Turkey link. Please note that transmissions broadcast between 2200 and 2300 UTC and between 0300 and 0400 UTC have been pre-recorded. Our email address is englishdesk@trt.net.tr.
And now TRT Voice of Turkey presents news in English. Presidential Communications Director Fahrettin Altun called on Greece to give up its inhumane attitude towards refugees as soon as possible, to put an end to groundless and unfounded accusations against Turkey, and to assume seriousness of the state. Fahrettin Altun made statements on his social media account following the posts of Greek Minister of Immigration and Asylum Notis Mitrakis regarding Turkey on Twitter. Mr. Altun said, with these futile and frivolous efforts, Greece has once again shown the whole world that it doesn't even respect the dignity of these oppressed people, while publishing the photographs of the refugees whose personal belongings it has seized and deported. The Greek authorities, first of all, in complicity with Frontex, which is the European Union Border Protection Agency, should give an account of the babies they caused to drown, the people they stripped, beat with belts, and froze to death in River Merit. We invite Greece to give up its inhumane attitude towards refugees as soon as possible, to put an end to groundless and unfounded accusations against Turkey, and to assume seriousness of the state. Mr. Altun, Turkey's Presidential Communications Director, added. US President Joe Biden has promised consequences for Saudi Arabia after Riyadh-led coalition of oil-producing nations sided with Russia to cut output in a bid to boost prices. I'm not going to get into what I would consider and what I have in mind, but there will be consequences, Biden told U.S. broadcaster CNN on Tuesday. The 13-nation OPEC cartel and its 10 allies, headed by Moscow, angered the White House last week with its decision to cut production by 2 million barrels a day from November, raising fears that oil prices could soar. Saudi Arabian Foreign Minister Prince Faisal bin Farhan Al Saud told the Al Arabiya channel on Tuesday that the OPEC Plus decision was purely economic and was taken unanimously. He added that OPEC Plus members acted responsibly and took the appropriate decision, saying that the alliance seeks to stabilize the market and achieve the interests of producers and consumers. The OPEC decision was widely seen as a diplomatic slap in the face since Biden traveled to Saudi Arabia in July and met with Prime Minister Mohammed bin Salman. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabian Defense Minister Prince Khalid bin Salman said that they were surprised that his country was accused of siding with Russia against Ukraine due to the OPEC Plus group's decision to reduce its daily oil production by 2 million barrels. Prince bin Salman, in a statement on his Twitter account, said, "We were surprised that Saudi Arabia was accused of siding with Moscow in the Ukraine-Russia war. It is worth noting that these baseless accusations did not come from the Ukrainian government, even though the decision of the OPEC Plus group was taken purely for economic reasons. Some accused Saudi Arabia of siding with Russia." Prince bin Salman also used the following statements in his statement. Iran is also a member of OPEC. So does that mean that Saudi Arabia also sided with Iran? The energy and oil ministers of the OPEC Plus group, which consists of OPEC and some non-OPEC producer countries, decided to reduce daily oil production by 2 million barrels as of November at the meeting held in Vienna, capital of Austria, on October 5. Saudi Arabia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs also announced on October 14 that they completely denied the accusations brought against them after the OPEC Plus group's decision. British lawmakers will try to oust newly elected Prime Minister Liz Truss this week, despite Downing Street's warning that it could trigger a general election. The Daily Mail reported more than 100 members of the parliament belonging to the governing Conservative Party are ready to submit letters of no confidence in Truss to Graham Brady, the head of the Conservative Party's committee which organizes the leadership contest, the tabloid reported, quoting unnamed sources. Britain, engulfed in a political crisis, has lost 3 prime ministers since it voted to leave the European Union in 2016. The deputies will urge Brady to tell Truss that her time is up, or to change the political party rules to allow an immediate vote of confidence in her leadership, the report added. Graham is said to be resisting the move, arguing that the Truss, along with newly appointed Chancellor Jeremy Hunt, deserve a chance to set out economic strategy in a budget on October 31, the report added. Meanwhile, in Sweden, Conservative leader Ulf Kristersson has been elected Prime Minister in Parliament in a vote that saw the right wing backed by the far-right Sweden Democrats for the first time. Kristersson was elected on Monday with 176 votes in favor and 173 against after he announced on Friday a deal to form a 3-party government between his mother party, the Christian Democrats, and the Liberals, supported in parliament by their key ally, the Sweden Democrats. The coalition plans to cut taxes, cap benefits, tighten immigration rules, and give police more powers as part of a policy deal with the Sweden Democrats, which is now the biggest party on the right after September's election. Until 2018, no party would have anything to do with the Sweden Democrats, but their message that decades of over-generous immigration policies are behind the surge in shooting and gang crime has struck a chord with voters. Successive governments have toughened immigration rules over the last decade, but the new coalition will move even further to the right. And in Pakistan, Pakistan's former Prime Minister Imran Khan's party, the Pakistan Tehreek and Insaf, won the by-elections on Sunday. Reports in the Pakistani media said that by-elections were held for 8 seats in the National Assembly and 3 in Punjab Assembly. According to unofficial results, the PTI, led by Khan, won 5 of the 8 seats in the National Assembly and won 2 of the 3 seats in the Punjab. Candidates of the government's coalition partner, Pakistan's People's Party, won 2 National Assembly seats in the by-election, while Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League clinched 1 seat. PTI Secretary General Asad Umar told press members in the capital Islamabad that the people's will was demonstrated, signaling that it was time to hold early elections in the country. Since his ouster through a parliamentary no-confidence vote in April, Imran Khan has been calling for early elections. Now that his party produced successful by-election results, Khan and his party are expected to voice their call more strongly. Imran Khan also led the by-elections held in Punjab in July. The government of Imran Khan was ousted as a result of no confidence vote in the National Assembly of Pakistan on April 10. Shahbaz Sharif, the brother of the 3-time Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, became the new Prime Minister of the country after winning 174 votes in a parliamentary vote on April 11. Iranian President Ibrahim Raisi, reacting to a statement by the US President Joe Biden on the demonstrations in Iran, said the President of the United States is provoking chaos and terror in other countries with his statements. Ibrahim Raisi told a meeting of the Council of Ministers in the capital Tehran, the US supports the demonstrations in Iran and in this way tries to drag the Iranians into despair and chaos, calling the United States the Great Satan. Raisi of Iran said the terror, chaos and sabotage taking place in the region were supported by the US administration. President of Iran also added the support of the Zionist Israel regime occupying Palestine by the US for more than 70 years and the US occupation of Afghanistan are some of the actions of this great evil. Reacting to US President Joe Biden's statement on the demonstrations in his country, noting that they are well aware of the operations and attacks carried out by the US against Iran, Raisi said that the perception against Iran will fail and they will not be able to achieve their goals. Moscow has completed tasks on partial mobilization set by the Russian Defense Ministry, the city mayor announced on Monday. According to the military commissioner of Moscow, the partial mobilization tasks established on the basis of a presidential decree and the tasks of the Defense Ministry have been completed in full, Sergei Sobyanin said in a statement on his website. Sobyanin added that meeting places for the mobilized people will close on October 17 at 2 p.m. Moscow time. The notices sent out during the mobilization process to the place of residence and enterprises are no more valid, the mayor added. On September 21, Vladimir Putin, President of Russia, declared partial mobilization to enlist up to 300,000 people between the ages of 18 and 50 in the Russian military.